That was a mooncake exploding inside the package. During the Mid-Autumn Festival, which actually happened yesterday this year, people enjoy mooncakes made with different fillings like salted egg yolk, nuts, along with tea while gazing the moon. Except this year, poisonous mooncake became a hot topic in China. People found out that many brands used a toxic preservative called sodium dihydroacetate, which long-term use causes harm to the body and organs. And this chemical allows some mooncakes to be stored up to 3 years before going bad. That's a very abnormally long time. This video is a man who left his half-eaten mooncake and the ants came to enjoy it. The next day, he finds them all ended on the floor. And he says that he had such a bad heartburn afterwards eating it. And it turns out the mooncake works better than insecticides.
我吃了烧心半天，我说昨天怎么这么烧心呢？还在吃，还在吃，这吃完了。
Honestly, it's not a good sign if dogs won't eat it. Their noses are great at detecting bad stuff. Interesting, even dogs wouldn't eat this stuff, and yet they're selling it to humans.
As you're watching this video, I'm actually eating a mooncake right now. Wish me luck.
Remember, there was this fresh mooncake made of meat that had a tooth in it.
今天这个3亩的这个鲜肉月饼，刚刚家里人吃了，看到吃了个什么？
Or you might end up finding live bugs inside the mooncakes.
不是，普通人都是一口吃下去的。
你看，
打电话给公司去。
不是打电话公司，现在我们这个吃了你怎么办？都会动，你看。
So the question is, I don't really know what it is. Do they not care about hygiene? Or is it just that they used a load of chemicals and preservatives to get rid of the bugs, but instead at the cost of poisoning the population? I don't know. Or it's a screw.
天哪，哇，好大一个！
这个月饼是我一个朋友送给我的，广东的哪里的？想吃掰开就看成这样，发现了就后来就没人吃了。我现在跟我朋友说了，他是跟他联系。
Or it's made with cotton-like ingredients.
组成的，为什么消化不了？好，我们看看啊。好，它这个就洗不掉了，这个就是肉松出来了。我们看看这个肉松是什么东西？你看看这是什么东西？啊，全部是棉花。
That's supposed to be meat fillings or some other fillings, who knows? It's a double standard issue for sure. Okay, take a look at this picture here. So this is a special mooncake made in the Hall of People's Congress, which is supposed to be for Chinese Communist Party officials. And of course it doesn't contain any foul ingredients like those on the regular markets. So you got the version, for the healthy version for the elites, and then you have the poisonous regular version for the other regular people. Now, poisonous food is no stranger to Chinese people. That's a given. But the fact is, this time, what makes it such a big topic is that it's a mixture of poisonous, ingredients, a mixture of jacked up prices, and there's even a celebrity endorsement gone bad. And that has this entire Mid-Autumn Festival period, shall I say, feeling extra moody. I don't know how good that is, but it's supposed to be a pun because, moody, everybody's feeling emotional about the mooncakes and watching the moon, so moondy. Anyways, sodium dihydroacetate will be banned in China starting in 2025. But that means until then, it's still fair games for these producers to make a lot of mooncakes with this preservative in it. Now, many brands were found to contain this. According to this photo here, which again, it's the same mooncake, but they made it for the CCP officials, it can last for 40 days before expiring. So it's not like they have to use this preservative to do what is necessary, right? Since it's a festival food, technically you can make it and sell it for that short amount of time. But, because obviously if those go bad, you lose money on them. And who cares about food safety? You get this current condition. And yep, they use that preservative instead. And it can last you 3 years. So most production facilities say, why not? Now, I also found funny mooncake videos as I was researching this video today. These students got them from the school administrators as a gift for Mid-Autumn Festival. Prior to this year's Autumn Festival, some reported that the sales for mooncakes had declined. September, which obviously is like the peak time people buying mooncake, saw a dramatic decline in the market. A sales manager made a video. He works at a mooncake factory in Shenzhen. He says in previous years, the half month before the festival was the peak sales period and business was the hottest. And then he says that they shipped goods in the early morning, but this year the number of orders significantly decreased. Now, some of the mooncake factories have also started to work only 3 days a week and rest for 1 day because there's a lack of orders. I bet it doesn't help many of these brands now that they found this toxic preservative inside of it. Now, along with this is a celebrity mooncake selling scandal. A famous Hong Kong actor, Eric Zhang, who often plays the big bad guy in movies like Infernal Affairs, he was live streaming with this streamer selling a so-called Hong Kong brand mooncakes. Mei Chen Mooncakes on stream was being branded as a Hong Kong domestic brand. Later, however, people discovered that it was only in name, that it was registered as a brand in Hong Kong, but the actual production site is back in mainland China, in Guangzhou and Fuzhou. Even though they're close to Hong Kong, they're not technically made in Hong Kong. And the live stream even jacked up the price per box from 59 yuan per box, which is actually the price you can find somewhere else, like on Taobao or the Chinese Amazon. They jacked it up to 169 yuan per box in the live broadcast room. That's almost 3 times the price. And when the story broke, the factory in Guangzhou quickly removed their logo in the building and the name in front of the compound. Later, Eric Zhang was even asked about the scandal at the red carpet event for Miss Hong Kong, and he just passes the mic back. Watch. So the entire story is just messed up because the ban on this preservative doesn't go into effect until next year, and which means for how many decades have people been putting this stuff into mooncakes? And so every single year during this time, people consume the amount of mooncakes that they do and have been slowly poisoned. Makes me really wonder, how and why there are certain types of cancer so prominent in China. Well, not only because there's these toxic mooncakes, but that same type of preservative can actually be put into other stuff as well. It's just that it happens to be on the label of mooncakes. And of course, not just that, right? Anything that doesn't expire within a few weeks is quite questionable. Unless, of course, they've been canned or properly preserved, things like kimchi or sauerkraut or pickles, right? Speaking of sauerkraut, in China, it probably contains the same toxic preservative that they use for the mooncake in other types of pickling or preserved sort of products too. And remember, last year I did this video about pre-prepared dishes in China. Basically, the idea is that you have a meal ready to eat. You just heat it up. But this is sort of like the restaurant scale. So what happened is, in order to save time, a lot of restaurants in China, when you go order the takeout, the chef just heats up the pre-prepared dish rather than actually cooking it from scratch. Now, it was a big scandal because school cafeteria would serve it to students, and these are obviously loaded with preservatives too, which means parents started to pack their own lunch for the kids to eat at school. And we even had a video which this man, he works for this type of food, come out to say that kids should not be eating this stuff. You can check it out. I'll link the video here. But the problem is, we find mooncakes to have this toxic chemical in it today. Yesterday it was some other things, but we always end up in the cycle of finding something that's wrong with the food safety in China, and it just doesn't seem to end. So should we all just kind of, stop eating? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this is a really serious issue? And what about the mooncakes that's exported to other countries? Interesting. Let me know in the comments. And also like this video as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next time, bye-bye.